One of the reasons why my focus is on helping you become a more autonomous and efficient learner of English is because this is going to help you find the right balance for you between the three Englishes, which are English as a lingua franca, global or international English, and local English. What are these types of Englishes and what is the right balance for you? Spoiler alert, most people focus on local English, and this might not be the best option. So stay tuned and find out why. This is the first in a new series of videos in which I'll be speaking about global issues. That is, problems that affect us all as a species, no matter where we live, and which we need to talk about using English in a global, multicultural setting. I'll be providing a great deal of vocabulary over the next few weeks for you to feel equipped to talk about global issues such as climate change, gender equality, COVID-19, conflict resolution, food, and much more. So if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and invite the bell to be notified when I upload a new video on learning and using English in real life situations. And if we haven't met yet, my name is Tanya Meyer and I'm an English as a foreign language teacher to adults, specializing in mindfulness practices to bring joy and understanding to your English language acquisition and use. I'll leave a link in the description box below for you to find out a little bit more about mindfulness and its relation to learning English. But essentially, mindfulness practices are very helpful for our own happiness and well-being because they promote inner peace, a warm heart, and a clear mind, which in turn helps us focus and concentrate, feel relaxed, and stress-free. From here, learning becomes easy and joyful. So the premise is, don't make English another stress point in your life, but rather incorporate it into your everyday activities in a light-hearted, joyful way. Right, so the three types of English and how they influence the way you learn and the content you learn as well. But first, a few fun facts. English has official or special status in at least 75 countries, with a total population of more than 2 billion. 1 out of 4 of the world's population speak English to some level of competence. Demand from the other 3/4 is increasing. More than 2/3 of the world's scientists read in English. 3/4 of the world's mail is written in English. 80% of the world's electronically stored information is in English. So with this in mind, let's talk about English as a lingua franca. That is, the English used by speakers of different native languages. This type of English is used mainly in politics and diplomacy, but also business, international law, the media, higher education, and scientific research. Many of my clients in the IT industry need English as a lingua franca because they work in multicultural settings and are in contact with speakers of other languages. In fact, I recently uploaded a video on how to master English through self-empowering content offered by spiritual teachers whose native language is not English. And I'd really like to recommend you watching that video, so I'll leave a link right here for you to watch it later. The main characteristics of spoken English as a lingua franca is that it contains many linguistic varieties and non-standard forms. Having said that, it's the only language that can be used in these multicultural settings, and so we can say that English as a lingua franca is diverse and inclusive. Is this resonating with you? Who do you need or want to use English with? Let me know in the comments below. Now, what I call global English or international English is the one produced by non-native speakers of English when they speak or interact with native English speakers. There's a misperception here on the part of both native and non-native English users that non-native English speakers must produce native-sounding English. And a lot of time and effort is put in by English learners to try and sound as native as possible. But as we've just seen from the fun facts, native English speakers simply means, at least in my view, anybody who has grown up from birth exposed to and speaking the English language, whether this is in an English-speaking country or not. Native English speakers vary tremendously around the world. We've just seen that English is spoken in at least 75 countries. But I think it's fair to say that when English learners say that they want to sound native, what they mean is that they either want to sound English from the UK, and specifically from London, and more specifically, they want to have that modern RP accent that they hear in films and that they love so much. Perhaps without realizing that modern RP is actually spoken by very few people in the world. And if you're wondering what RP means, it's received pronunciation, and it's that very clear British English that you're used to hearing in international settings and that people love so much. But in reality, though, if you travel to London, where you're expecting to hear everybody speaking in this accent, you'll be surprised to find that most people in London have a mix of, yes, some RP, some estuary, and some Cockney, kind of all blended into a single London accent. Although, of course, the London accent varies according to where in London you go and who you interact with. Wanting to sound native might also be, in your case, wanting to sound more American, for example. And here I mean the US. The question about saying American is because there's no adjective to nominate people from the US in English, unfortunately. So if you are from Colombia, you are Colombian. If you are from China, you are Chinese. If you are from Korea, you're Korean. But if you're from the US, we don't say USian. That doesn't exist. So we just call it American. So if you're American in English, that means that you're from the US and not even the North American continent, which would include Canada and Mexico, of course. Anyway, back to global English. And the important thing to remember, if you're an English learner that doesn't have the need or the intention to live in an English-speaking country, but you do need to use English for social or professional purposes, then the English you'll be producing is called global English, and it's characterized by some linguistic variation and non-standard forms, as well as features of pronunciation that are common to speakers of your native language. What I mean here is that the way you speak English usually announces your native language to an English speaker, but does not necessarily prevent that native English speaker or non-native English speaker from understanding what you're saying. And this is the key point. This is what you should be working towards. Rather than sounding like a native English speaker, focus on intelligibility. That is, the degree to which you can communicate effectively with a native English speaker. And that's going to include a healthy balance between accuracy and fluency and clarity in pronunciation. The third and final type of English is local English. And unless you, as a learner of English, are moving to live in an English-speaking place, you do not need to worry about producing local English, because the English spoken in each location is going to vary slightly or a lot from each other. Native English speakers who have the opportunity to travel to other English-speaking places often find it very challenging to keep up with local conversations. Having said that, as an English learner, it is important to expose your ears to as many Englishes as you can, especially if you need to interact with English-speaking people from a particular place or with non-native English speakers from a particular country. And what do I recommend in these cases? Well, find radio stations from that place, listen to TED Talks delivered by people from that place, and to podcasts also. But again, you do not need to produce that English. You only need to be able to understand the local Englishes that are relevant or interesting to you. And if you're ready to take your progress with English into your own hands, make sure that you download my free guide, How to Revolutionize Your English, 8 Steps for Success, which I'll leave a link for in the description below. Once you download the guide, you'll be added to my mailing list, and that means that you'll be receiving weekly emails from me in English about learning English. So it's a win-win. Of course, don't worry, you can unsubscribe at any time, but why would you? When the whole idea about improving your English skills is being exposed to English, interacting in English, receiving information, processing English, being able to use it, and so subscribing to somebody's channel, as you will in the case when you download the guide, is one of the actions that you can take to become a more autonomous and efficient learner. Plus, the guide is full of ideas and suggestions for you to move forward on your own and really make a difference to your English, take yourself to the next level. So that's it from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember to click that bell to be notified when I upload my next video, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.